This month, people across the United States are in for a special treat as a solar eclipse will be visible across the entire country. Joining me now is a NASA expert, Dr. Noah Petro, to tell us more about how we can prepare for this exciting show. I believe that Noah is joining us now. There you are. Thank you so much for being with us. So 1 month from today, people across North America will be able to see this total solar eclipse. Talk about what actually happens during the event.
Well, a total solar eclipse is this incredibly unique astronomical event where you have a perfect alignment of the sun, the moon, and the earth. And so I have these little tools to help me demonstrate this. But basically, if you, the viewer at home, are the sun, the moon will pass directly between the earth and the sun, and the shadow of the moon will fall on the face of the earth. And so if you're so lucky to be in the path of totality, this very slender path of land from Mexico through northern New England and coastal Canada, on April 8th, you'll be treated to a total solar eclipse. For folks outside of the path of totality, as in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you'll get a partial eclipse, still a fun astronomical event. But the real main show is going to be in the path of totality, where the moon blocks the sun and we get to see the solar corona. We'll see planets and stars pop out if it's clear enough, and again, get to experience the shadow of the moon in person.
Yeah, that is so cool. I was actually living and working in St. Louis about 6-7 years ago. So that was in the path of totality during our last total solar eclipse. And it really was just such a cool thing to experience and be a part of. At that time, and even now, we've been told never to look directly at the sun. So how can our viewers safely view the solar eclipse, even though we're not in the path of totality?
Yeah, so even if you're not in the path of totality, you can still enjoy this. And I like to channel my inner Norm Abram all the time to talk about the importance of these safety glasses. If you have leftover safety glasses, solar viewing glasses from 2017, or even the annular eclipse from last year, you can use those. They have a specific marking on them that conforms to international standards. People should go to go.nasa.gov/eclipse2024 to find out more about how to confirm that the glasses you have are indeed safe for solar viewing. Those really nice sunglasses that you use when you drive in those beautiful sunny days in Milwaukee, not going to cut it for looking at the sun. There are also indirect viewing methods you can use to project the sun and the shadow of the moon onto the ground, onto a piece of paper. But again, it is critically important that people not look at the sun, even during the partial eclipse that you'll enjoy in Milwaukee. These solar viewing glasses, you put them on. I'm here in the studio. I can't see the bright studio lights. The only light that should come through is sunlight. And so on April 8th, if you've got these solar viewing glasses, you'll get to see an eclipsed sun for a chunk of time in the middle of the day.
So obviously that is what we're going to be looking at, but what will scientists be looking for during the eclipse?
So yeah, so there's a couple different things that we'll be looking for. When the moon perfectly blocks out the sun, we see the solar corona, essentially the atmosphere of the sun. The solar corona is millions of degrees, actually hotter than the surface of the sun. And so NASA is planning on launching balloons into the Earth's atmosphere to study not only what happens to the sun, but what happens to the Earth's atmosphere when the sun is blocked out for a period of time. And so we use eclipses as sort of natural events to study the sun, to study the Earth's atmosphere. And so scientists, circle eclipse dates for decades out. And whether you're bringing a telescope into the path of totality, or again, launching rockets into the path, or balloons into the path of totality, or just sitting, looking up and making observations.
Dr. Petro, I don't mean to cut you off, but it is so exciting. I know that you could talk about it for hours, and I wish that we had the time. It is so cool, just 1 month away from the total solar eclipse. Thanks so much for joining us.